Welcome back to Open Window Politics. They're going to be doing a prediction between AOC, Congresswoman from New York on the Democratic side, versus J.D. Vance, the current Vice President of the United States. This is one of the possible outcomes of the Democrat and Republican primaries. I think that J.D. Vance is far more likely to be the Republican nominee than AOC is to be the Democratic nominee, but nonetheless, both of these candidates have been floated as potential candidates for the general election. I'm going to start out in Nevada and then end up going east. So I do think that in Nevada, I think a moderate Democrat would would probably have pretty good odds of winning the state of Nevada against J.D. Vance. But I think just because of AOC is quite a bit more progressive, then it would alienate some voters, and I do think that would result in a Republican victory in Nevada. And then we get to the state of Arizona. In Arizona, I think this is more likely to end up in the Republican column. There are some kind of like many McCain-esque Republicans who, such as in 2020 when it was Trump versus Biden, voted for Biden, but would have preferred a more standard Republican that didn't have quite as much of a reputation and quite as many scandals as Trump does. So I do think that would play to J.D. Vance's favor, and that he would probably be able to win the state of Arizona. So that is going to be 2 more states for J.D. Vance's column, bringing us to 225 for AOC, to 236 for J.D. Vance. Next up, I will go to the southeast, the other half of the Sun Belt. I do think that in the long run, the Sun Belt is going to become more and more Democratic friendly. I think if these were the candidates, that it would probably result in 2 more states for J.D. Vance. I think that AOC probably has a better chance in Georgia than North Carolina, but I do think if AOC was the Democratic nominee, that this would probably be the makeup. And then that means that, and we're going to go to the little district here in Omaha. I think that AOC, it might narrow up from what Harris had, her margin of victory in 2024, but she's got some room for error. So I do think that it would be the first win for AOC out of the swing states and districts that we've gone over so far. So that brings us to 226 to 268. I think AOC has a good chance in Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin is probably one of her best chances of winning a swing state. This state was pretty close in 2024. It's been close since in 2016 and 2020. Really, there are just not too many swing voters that really determine who wins in each of the core 7 swing states. So that is going to be AOC's first major win of the election night prediction. I have gone back and forth on Michigan and Pennsylvania. For now, I'm going to put Michigan in AOC's column. I think that would be reasonable, although I don't think that the Rust Belt will vote together this time around. Usually they do. I thought it would be interesting to do a prediction where they don't quite match up altogether, so I'm going to get to the Republican tilt rating, and I'm going to put the state of Pennsylvania into the Republican column. So that brings J.D. Vance to 287 electoral college votes, with AOC coming in at 251. So this, again, is just a hypothetical prediction. Feel free to agree or disagree with me in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.